Good morning. This is probably the absolute worst look for a YouTube video ever, but I'm trying to remember to do these and to fit them in when they're relevant, and when things are happening for me, because I feel like I'm a little bit more informed when I talk like that. So excuse the kind of like crappy setup, but it is what it is. My next video that I wanted to do, because it's really relevant for me at the moment, is what kind of parent you become when you're going through this. Excuse me. When your child's in a unit, and because it's really it's a kaleidoscope, let's put it that way. If you're watching this and you're in my situation, then I'm here. I'd love to chat. It's very lonely. It's not very often that I do come across other parents that are in the same situation, unless I speak to parents on forums and things like that, because I do find that I don't really see the other parents in the unit. Everyone seems to be separate, so it's always been like that, and I don't know why or how, but it just is. So what kind of parent do you have to become, or do you become, without even trying? I certainly think that you're more considered, and what I mean by that is you're not just a parent that's just enjoying the development of your child, who's just going through life, getting to a weekend and chatting to your spouse and being able to say, oh, they did such a thing this week, or your life is very much punctuated by happenings. It's very complicated, this, but if you know, you do know. So for example, this week is half term, and ordinarily on a half term, back when she was at home, I'd have taken a couple of days off work, we'd have gone into town, done some clothes shopping, gone to the cinema, done things like that, all normal parent things. Whereas this week I tried to get her to come home. Thought I'll take a day or two and try to get her to come home for a visit. But because it was out of the ordinary, obviously she has autism, and because it was out of the ordinary, she freaked out at the thought of coming home on a Wednesday. We've only just got her coming home on a weekend for visits, so I didn't push it. I didn't, dig my heels in and say, no, you are coming home. I was like, right, okay. I mean, it's a fair point, and we're still learning here, and I know that she needs notice. She needs notice at least a week before to say, next Wednesday you're going to be picked up at such a time by mum, taken back to her house and brought back at this time, and I'm still learning to do that. So that's what I mean about being a considered parent. You need to think ahead in ways you wouldn't have done before. You certainly can't be spontaneous. You can try, but it backfires. So yes, so that's very much the kind of parents that you become. Also as well, your parenting is now from a place of advocacy. It's not just sitting by and watching your child on this journey. It's now from a place of advocacy, and so by that I mean that you were constantly making decisions all the time. All parents do, but I mean, it's a daily thing now, and all of your decisions are relevant to their recovery. So it's a big deal, and it's a big responsibility, and it's not always one that I feel like I'm cut out for. I really don't. It's like, for example, the thing with the home leave. I had to think on the hop, because it was brought up at our weekly consultant meeting. Right, what are you doing about leave this week, with it being half term? Now, myself and my ex-husband both work full time, so obviously there's that to consider as well. But I was right, okay, I'll bring her home Wednesday. And in that second I had to think, right, how's she going to react? What am I going to do with her? How am I going to do this between feeds? Who's going to be at my house when she comes back? Will that feed into how she might feel with it being out of the ordinary? There's a lot of planning and a lot of consideration that now goes into parenting. It's not the same, and I don't think it ever will be the same. I think that I think that this is me and how my parenting will be for the long term with her. And I think that the sooner that I accept this as my norm, maybe the happier I will be too. Who knows? Yeah, so, but see, now this is where there is also a contradiction, like I've spoken about before. So whereas parenting is now about planning and trying to think off the cuff all the time, right, how's this going to impact? You know, you can't plan ahead. So as much as you are planning, you're planning for the here and now, and you're planning for the very near future, because you can't plan ahead, because you just don't know how things are going to be next week. We had a great couple of weeks where home leave was going really well. The staff had noticed that she was more engaged, and she seems, you know, in higher spirits herself. And then we had a difficult CPA meeting where she had some harsh words with a consultant. It's a harsh word. She was just demanding to know why she doesn't get more time in her bedroom and things like that, you know, which there's very good reasons for, because until she can prove that she can keep herself safe, she just can't spend that time in her room. And she wasn't given answers that she liked, and, you know, so she made a very bold statement about how upset she was that night. You know, which I think it was just to make a statement, but again, you just don't know. And especially with her being so young, you just don't know when they're trying to make a statement, how far they'll accidentally go with it. So it's scary. It's scary because you can, if you're the kind of person who likes predictability and stability in their life, then I really do feel sorry for you, because this must be hell on earth for you. It must be, because you just don't know what you're going to get every day. But it certainly makes you a lot more empathetic, I think, as well. There have been parents going through this for forever, and, you know, I often think about parents that do this who have more than just one other child like I have, you know, and who have younger children. And I'm lucky in the sense that my older daughter's now 16, and we're able to, you know, work out things between us a little bit flexibly. Whereas if I had a 2 or a 3-year-old or something like that, I just don't know how parents like that cope. But it does certainly make you a more empathetic parent. It makes you more organised. Like I said, you know, I like to consider myself an intelligent person, but I'm certainly not organised. I'm quite scatty with my organisation. It's just the way that I am. You know, I mean, it's like maybe her neuro divergency comes from me. You know, that is something that I have been put on the pathway for a diagnosis for, but I'm not particularly bothered about getting a diagnosis for, because I've coped with it for so long. However, I do know that it's made a difference to her, knowing, not labelling, but knowing why she's a bit different. So yeah, so you do have to become more organised, whether it's against the grain for you or not, and a bit uncomfortable. That is certainly what you have to do. So yeah, there are many, many different parents that you become, and none of them are bad, you know. They're not, even on days where you've not got patience. You know, last night, I hate the evening visits. I hate them. I love seeing her, and that's what keeps me going. But I hate that drive to Manchester in rush hour traffic, and that drive back in the dark. I just can't bear it. And so yeah, I wasn't particularly happy-go-lucky yesterday. I really struggled with it. So it is difficult. It's very difficult. And so, you know, the types of parents you become are always good ones. But, you know, you've got to really go easy on yourself, because we didn't expect to be in this situation. You know, nobody prepared us for this. So just, you've got to be kind to yourself. And if that means, you know, coming in from your visit and going sitting in the bath for an hour just while you decompress, then do it. Do what you need to do to then get on with your outside life, because that's what this is. It's two different lives, and you've got to be able to be present in both, not always in the same amount as well. So yeah, so do what works for you as a parent, and hopefully that you're getting the support. I've got a fantastic partner who can see when I've had one of those days and knows how difficult it is, and that makes all the difference. Just some empathy from somebody close at home as well, it does make all the difference. So I hope that you're getting that, and if you ever want to inbox me about any of this, then please do. I'm absolutely no expert. I am proper fudging this as I go along and messing it up a lot of the time as well, because nobody's helping. I'm just trying to keep going, and it's flipping difficult. Last night was a difficult night for me. It was really difficult. I didn't want to be in the car. I'm struggling with my energy levels at the moment. You know, I'm anemic, so I am finding it hard to kind of do these long drives, especially when it's dark. And I do worry. I worry that one day I'm going to hit another car, I'm going to fall asleep at the wheel. It's happened. Luckily, I woke up very quickly, and I came home and I could have cried. And I did exactly what I said I was going to do. I went and got in the bath, and I just had some decompression time. And unfortunately, there was an incident as well last night at the unit where there's a group chat between them all, which she's been told to leave, but she's rejoined, and it's difficult because I wanted to have not friends in there, but I needed to have relationships, I suppose, for the sake of her keeping on going. But sometimes these relationships turn sour. I mean, she's a 10-year-old who's in there with 16-year-olds, and so she can annoy them. And I think she did that last night, and so she obviously got upset with what they must think of her, because that really bothers her. Other people's perception of her really, really worries her. And so again, she threatened to hurt herself. And so after an evening like that, come home, and then staff are on the phone saying, just so you know, this has happened, we've done a room search, we've cleared a room. But that also means they're having everything taken off her as well, that she loves doing, the crochet, you know, things like that. Leads to a galaxy lamp, which is, you know, it's very much a comfort thing for her. She tends to not have lights on in her room. She just has a galaxy lamp on, so that's been taken off her. And, you know, so you have that guilt then of, you know, but you understand that they're doing it for her safety, and it's one big monumental shit show. It is. I can't even wrap it up as anything else. It's just shit. And then the day after, we've just, even though we've got something like that hanging over us, we've got to go to work now and work all day too. Put a smile on our faces, as if nothing's happened, as if your child's not seriously ill, and as if they're safe where they are, and as if they're happy where they are. And oh God, that turned into a really maudlin speech, didn't it? I am sorry. I am supposed to be making us feel a little bit more positive about the situation, but do you know what? Some days you just can't. Like I said, it's a shit show. Just keep doing the best you can, and make sure you're getting some support as well. I'm going to go in here now, and I like being at work. I do love being at work. My work are amazing. They are so good to me. They know my situation. They're flexible, they're compassionate, you know. So some days I come in, I put my smile on my face because I'm at the front desk, and it just means that I can just be me for a few hours. Not mum, not carer, you know, just me. So have a great day, everybody, and reach out if you need to.